to the Three Wise Men, Lima Land. I'm Danny Holbrook, joined by Miles Holliday and Chris Howell from the Lima News. Gentlemen, week 8 of the high school football season, it is absolutely flying by.
Can we slow it down? It's going too fast, isn't it?
Yeah.
I absolutely love high school football. The weather is still summer weather. Can we slow it down so we can get some fall weather? I don't want the season to end too quick.
Yeah, Chris, no cold weather. It's all been hot.
Why does it feel like week 2? We're still seeing cramping timeouts left and right, and we're approaching the last 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah. Miles, let's show them the email address.
There it is, right there.
We want to hear from you, the good folks of Lima Land, 3 wise men at WTLW.com. Please send your letters in. We want to answer your
Danny will sing it, too.
I will sing them. Oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day. Mailman, mailman, mail today. Pick one out and pull one out today. There we go.
Is this the part where I explain that this is a real email address?
It is.
We really want to hear from
you.
you.
We actually answer the emails that people send in.
Yes.
And don't forget to jump on the WSN app.
Oh, it's
you want to watch
fantastic.
games, you want to watch highlights, we got it all covered.
Now, should I do like the David Letterman thing? And
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, do that. Yeah. All right, guys, let's get right into it. It's time for the Diamond Dave Bowen best thing we saw all week.
Things.
I don't know how you can just pick out one or two.
It's impossible.
And that's why you don't.
That's why I can't. I can't, right? All right, so I had the a great Grove versus Fort Laramie game on Friday night with Josiah Stober, and I'm telling you what, Fort Laramie goes down and they drive the football, the opening drive, don't get in the end zone, and they should have because Landon Best, that boom, we're going to go vertical, man. His deep ball is fantastic. It was a lot of fun to watch him throw vertical. Coaches over at Grove, let him throw deep a little bit more. It's a great throw. He is a fantastic deep ball thrower. Gavin Baxter, have you seen this kid for Columbus
really
Grove?
Yeah.
What a sequence. He blocks a punt, left hand, and boom. Next play, runs a post route for a touchdown. Talk about great high school football. Just a sophomore. Watch out for him. He's going to be fantastic. Fort Laramie, though, I really like the future for them. Tanner Heckman, the quarterback. Ooh, talk about a cannon for him. He can move really well.
You sound like Raj from What's Happening.
Ooh.
Most people don't know what
Take
that
it easy,
is.
Cheryl. All right, Ray Hoying, number 0 for them. What a great night. He took the football, ran it about, 1,000 times on the opening drive. Big physical guy. And he was elected the king that night, too. He was homecoming king.
Yeah.
So he's a stud. But my favorite, though, was Katie Stribe, the wife of Jason Stribe, assistant coach over there. Look, we had Attack of the Gnats. I mean, they were absolutely everywhere. Now, the tough guy that I am, I was okay. I was just swatting them away. I'm a tough guy, right? But Josiah Stober and our camera guys, oh my gosh, they thought they were going to die. All these gnats are everywhere. Oh my gosh. She lent us some of her bug spray for her baby. Her baby. Gave it to our guys.
So you lathered Josiah up in bug spray?
They did. And so we were able to survive Bugageddon over there. So thank you again for letting us use the bug spray.
Did you get any bugs this weekend, Chris, or did you just go to games?
I get bugs every weekend, but I mostly just have football fever. I was at the Start Lima Senior game this past Friday, and just the fact that, it was a game that I attended last year because it was in week 10, and Lima Senior had a chance to finish off that unbeaten season, go 10-0, win the T-Cal, get a home playoff game, which they didn't end up doing. And let's just say they did get every bit of revenge. They held Start's offense to under 200 yards. 43-0. I asked Bill Lawrence after the game, I said, which number excites you more, the 43 or the 0? And he said, oh, the 0, no question. So, talk about a guy who's generally offense first. And he also taught me a term that they use in their film room. It's loafs, okay? So to earn a loaf, if the tackle is made in the play and you're not in the camera frame,
right,
1 loaf equals 1 up down. Ooh. So if you're not in the camera frame when the tackle is made, you get to do up downs on Monday or Sunday or whenever their next practice is. And Bill looked at me square in the eyes. He said, "They don't like up downs." So,
nobody does. How many loafs did you get in high school back in the
lots
day?
Of them. Lots of them.
And defensive coordinators absolutely love shutouts, and they get shutouts because guys run the football. It takes no athletic ability to run to the football, right? That's just all effort.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, for me, I got to go watch Shawnee and Wapakoneta this
what
weekend.
a great game.
Great game, great matchup. Ryan Richardson, spectacular. We talk about Moyer to Caden Page, which is a great connection, but Ryan Richardson opened the scoring up for Wapakoneta. He was fantastic, guys. Not only on the offensive side, he had an interception on the defensive side. He was in on, it seemed like, every tackle. Kid's really athletic. He was spectacular. We don't mention him a lot because Guys, they're loaded at every position.
They are.
I said it a couple weeks ago, and I firmly believe it. I think it's Coach Moyer's best team he's ever had, and I think they're going to make a deep playoff run.
Yep.
I think they can get it done this year.
Well, you got a quarterback that doesn't throw the ball anywhere but to his teammates, right? He's absolutely fantastic, and they're unselfish. They have a lot of guys that are great weapons, and they could cry about having better stats, but they don't. They block for each other, and they're team-first guys. That's what makes them special.
Chris, Darren Hauser is amazing.
Yeah.
He is so good.
Yeah, it's almost like he lived with a Division I tight end, right? No, that's what makes Wapak so great is the fact that, you take Caden Page away a little bit, there's Noah Bishop, there's Gage Vaughn, there's Ryan Richardson.
Mullen.
Obviously, there's Jarrett Mullen.
Yep.
There's just so many options, and everybody's just always seems to be ready, and I think that's a staple of why Travis Moyer runs such a great program.
And not to be overshadowed, though, that is a really good offensive line also. You can't do those things, and they are elite level with their scheme. You can't do those things without an offensive line that's very good.
I want to give out a shout-out to Shawnee. They got down in that game, and they lost that game, but it takes nothing away from what Shane Wireman and that program has done this year, and they are going to be a tough outcome of the postseason, and he's done a terrific job over there.
And never bet against J.J. Spiker, right?
That's right, yeah. It's interview time here on the Three Wise Men, and we're joined by the Elida Bulldogs. Not the whole team, just a few of them. Coach Kyle Harmon, Noah Jostpille, and Parker Crim. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having us, man.
Absolutely. Coach, let's start off with your season so far. 4-3 overall, 3-3 in the league. Talk a little bit about the ups and downs of the season.
We had a fast start, played Toledo Rogers, jumped on them pretty quick right out of the gate. So it was good for us, but kind of got us a false sense of confidence. They're down a little bit, but, we got everybody on the field and we made some nice plays. But going into the next 2 weeks, Van Wert and Shawnee, I felt like we let two slip away. We had two late leads, about a minute and a half left, and, ultimately we lost those games, which I'll put on me because offense, we didn't get the job done. Defense played extremely well. But, lately we've been playing some good football. We're starting to figure out who we are. We're starting to spread the field a little bit, and we have a lot of guys making plays.
Yeah. Coach, I know over the last couple of years, and I know everybody watches this show because I know you guys watch this show, we've talked a lot about injuries for the Elida program, and you guys just seem to have been snake bitten the last few years. How have you kept the kids' confidence up? How have you kept the coaching staff going? I think you've done a real good job with the players you have.
Yeah, it's kind of next man up mentality. Last season with some injuries, we had some guys get a lot of quality minutes, played a lot of quarters that probably wouldn't have been counted on otherwise. But this year, we've been pretty good so far. We've had a linebacker out with an ankle last week, but other than that, we've been pretty healthy.
You guys are 4-3, as Danny said. Huge week, Defiance, right? 4-4 is much different than 5-3, right? Noah, how important is this game for you guys?
I think it's really important because we still got goals ahead of us too. We want to get in the playoffs, so this is a must-win game for all of us. We'll be ready to go.
And Parker, what concerns you about Defiance when you guys? I know it's day one of your work week, but you guys have watched film. What concerns you about Defiance?
Defiance has really good athletes, and they're a really physical team, and we're gonna have to match it. We're gonna have to match the physicality that they bring, and then we're gonna have to really ball out and see what we have to offer because this is a really big week for us.
Guys, I got to see you against Van Wert, and like Coach Harmon mentioned, just one that went down to the wire and just didn't bounce your way at the end. But specifically Parker, I just want to ask you, what was it like to have to tackle Zach Crummy, a kid who's 6'7", 245, and you probably haven't tackled a whole lot of guys in your high school career that are that much bigger than you, right?
And he really has some good potential. He will be a very good player for them, and then it was really hard to get him down. But we had to get alone. We did. So I'm really happy with our tackling that game.
I want to talk a little bit about last Friday. There's a huge issue that we need to address. Noah, there's no way around it. How did you get caught at the one?
I don't know. I thought I was naked, but obviously I didn't think there was anyone around me. But then I just felt someone around the 3-yard line just pull me down. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
His strides weren't quite long enough. They weren't quite long enough.
Coach, I want to ask you, 3 years ago, I remember the first time I saw Parker on the football field as a freshman. And I remember calling Miles after the game. I'm like, look, Elida's got this kid out there that I'm telling you he's going to be something. You saw that early on. What's it like to coach a Division I athlete? Not a lot of coaches get to do that.
It's
and no
fun.
Disrespect, Noah, because you're a good player.
It's fun. It's a lot of stress. A lot of it's mostly outside the season, with the visits and the coaches calling. There's a lot more to it than what I realized. But, there were tons of people coming in, which is cool. I knocked some things off my bucket list, going some different places, sit in Bielema's office, Larry Johnson's office, So it's been cool to, ride along, tag along with that. But, he deserves everything, he gets. He's worked extremely hard the last few years. He's blessed with a lot of talent.
How difficult is it? Because, let's be honest. People hold you. All right, they will grab your jersey, they'll grab your face mask. How difficult is it dealing with? Because it's unfair sometimes, right? He should get more holding calls against him. How tough is that on a Friday night?
So last week, he's a captain, and as the referees are walking over, I just pointed at him like, they are going to hold him every play. And they're just like, huh? I'm like, no, they're going to hold him every play. And they do. But, teams scheme up. They run away from him, 90% of the time. And, he still fights that backside. But he is held about every play.
Absolutely. How tough is that for you as a player? I imagine, like in a basketball player, you're on the post, like Shaq, getting hacked nonstop, right? The same type of thing. How difficult is that?
Honestly, it's a little frustrating, but it's just out of respect, really, because they wouldn't be doing that if they didn't know that I was going to make plays. So
that's a good way to look at it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You guys mentioned taking visits to these big universities to talk to these big programs and stuff. What was it like to have those guys come see you in Elida, in your own classroom or the workroom, or, it's not a place that's generally right on the beaten path of recruiting. So they had to make a special effort to come see you guys.
It was really special. It was really a blessing to have the opportunity to have all those college coaches want to have me as a player for them. It was really it was kind of overwhelming because every day you didn't know what class was going to miss, so I could have missed pre-calc, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be behind. But it was really cool.
Did any of them stay and eat lunch in the cafeteria with you guys?
No, sir.
No, all right.
We recommend them some good spots out here.
Didn't have to sleep in a treehouse like Harbaugh made us. No, let's talk a little bit about the brotherhood out of Elida and getting to play with your teammates, and what's that culture like, and do you guys enjoy being around each other?
Yeah, I think it's really good because we've all grown up with each other, and we've known each other and been friends with each other since kindergarten. So yeah, we're really close with our guys, and it allows for us to trust each other more and have more fun.
That's awesome. What's it like playing with Parker?
It's great. I'm probably taking it for granted.
Is it harder to deal with Parker on the basketball court or on the football field?
I don't know. I get more from him in basketball in practice. We got to go one-on-one, but yeah.
So he gets every offensive rebound, right?
But he can't shoot free throws, so it's good. It's good.
You improved last year.
I went 9 for 10 against Bath in playoffs.
Yeah, he did. Now, there's ever a time in practice where he's got to look at you and say, "No, take it easy on me."
No.
All right, guys, every time we have somebody on the show, I ask them the one question. I'm going to ask it to both you guys. The one team on your schedule that you want to beat worse than any team on that schedule. I told you mine. We won't talk about it on there.
Well, now we only have 3 games left, so I'd say the one team I'd want to beat most is Walpock.
Okay, all right.
Nice.
How about you, Parker?
I agree. Because that's really an underdog game for us.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it, so it's like we need to really come out and
I'm not going to ask you, Coach. We're not going to do that to you, no.
But for you, though, Coach Harmon, you coach with Coach Moyer.
Mm-hmm.
So what's it like to go up against a guy who you looked up to at one point and worked with?
I have a lot of respect for him. I mean, I learned a lot from him going over there. It's probably one of the best things I ever did.
Mm-hmm.
Go learn their practice style, his discipline, the weight room. Yeah, he does a great job over there. There's a reason they win so many games. He's a great coach, puts a great staff together.
Give me one thing you took away from Coach Moyer and one thing you took away from Andre Griffin.
Coach Moyer is his practice plan, practice style. We practice white team, black team, JV varsity, so everybody's getting reps the whole entire time instead of groups standing behind just watching. So kids get a ton of reps at practice every day, which makes your younger guys better. Coach Griffin was just the connections. That guy knows everybody. Everybody. Some of the places I went with him, sitting in Luke Fickell's office, talking with him and Marcus Freeman, just awesome bucket list things.
How much fun has this been as the head football coach to see the progress of your program making year after year? Because you guys are on that path, and you guys are on the cusp of being 5-3 right now.
Yeah, year one we went 6-3 COVID year. That was tough, but we played some good football. We played some different teams, obviously, because he had to schedule outside. Yeah. But I feel like we can we've been getting better every year, but we can't stay away from the injury bug.
Yeah.
You know, we've had some really good athletes get hurt, some guys that have been game changers go down, but, you know, we've had some guys step in, and, you know, those are the guys that, you know, they end up playing for 3 years, you know. So we're building. We're not quite where we want to be yet.
I always like asking coaches this, but what are your building blocks? When you're building your program, what are the things, the words that you use continuously that helps build your program?
Just consistency in the weight room.
Yeah.
That's all. It's where it all starts at.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're not going to be consistent in the weight room, you're not going to be very good.
You know, both of you guys, either at one point or still currently, are 3-sport athletes too. I just want to get your take on, you know, what's the importance for you guys of growing up playing multiple sports and not specializing when, you know, you're obviously leaning one way or another, but you chose to stick with them as long as you could.
Yeah, I mean, it teaches you to, I mean, you're always doing something, so you're always staying active and staying acclimated and always practicing and getting better. I mean, for football, the weight room in the winter, that'll help you for every sport you want to play, and like basketball and stuff, your footwork, and that'll all help you for other sports, so it all goes hand in hand.
And to add on to that, I think all of those sports teach you good work ethic, mindset, just prepares you for life. Like the brotherhood that we have here, we're going to make it for life. So it's like, I recommend everybody do 3 sports because that's really a great thing to do.
It's hard to play 3 now.
It is.
It's hard to play 3.
Especially in the summer.
Yeah, because they have lifting in the morning. As soon as they leave there, they go shoot. Then they have baseball games at night. You know, they got 3 different things going on. It's crazy.
Coach, what are your non-negotiables on this team? What you absolutely won't handle?
Show up. You got to show up, be consistent. You know, you got to show up to work every day with a good attitude. Disrespect to the coaches. You know, but, you know, other than that, it's just you got to show up, you got to be with your boys, and you got to work hard.
You're going to be in a meeting with other WBL coaches, I assume, when you guys pick the players of the year and stuff. Give us our argument that you're going to use for Parker to be the player of the year.
Well, I put him up last year, and everybody just kind of looked at me and nodded. So there really was no argument last year. You know?
You just dropped the microphone, right? Parker Crim, everybody.
No, I just put him up, and, you know, they have a lot of respect for him. He makes plays, and people have to game plan around him and do things different. You know, everybody's offense changes.
It does.
Everybody's offense changes.
What's the one guy on an opposing defense on another team in the WBL who that defensive player who you may think is the second best in the league? Who's one guy you kind of plan around?
There's a lot this year.
Jack Rader.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good football player.
No question.
He's a good football player.
Great interview, too.
He's fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yeah, he's a good football player.
Yeah,
Man.
he is. Noah, what about you? What's your favorite route that you like to run?
Favorite route?
Yeah.
I know we got a route where we'll follow in behind a guy who's running a corner, and you break off and run a post. That's
Okay.
probably my favorite.
All right. Do you say to your quarterback, Mr. Snyder, hey, I'm open on every route?
Yeah, sometimes you gotta let them know, but yeah, usually that route will leave you open. And
What's the transition been like going from Ryan to Jonan, you know, this year? You're both very talented arms, very talented athletes. You know, can you point out maybe 1 or 2 differences of going from one to the other?
yeah, I mean, Ryan, he had that arm strength. He'd, you know, get it the ball wherever he wanted down the field. But I feel like Jonan, he's a lot like more intellectual. Like he's a lot smarter.
Don't tell Ryan you said that.
I love Ryan, but he's young.
We're built different offensively.
Yeah,
Yes.
Parker, you ever look up?
Save himself here. I'm trying to save him.
Do you ever look over at coach and be like, I want to carry the ball. I want to carry the ball a bunch. I'm the biggest guy on the team. Goal line defenses can't stop me. I'm fighting for you here, Parker.
Just because he's sitting right here, no comment on that one.
We've thrown you one pass.
Yeah. How'd that go?
We threw him a pass during 2 days. It was a go ball, and if he caught it, we got out of conditioning. So he ran about 35 yards, turned around, caught it like my 5-year-old son, and we got out of conditioning.
I know,
It's a
right? It's a catch,
Yeah,
though.
that's right.
Yeah.
And they got conditioning, fellas.
Did you do a football move, take it to the ground, you know, secure it?
I did everything to get in that end zone.
All right, guys. Unfortunately, your career in high school football is going to be coming to an end soon, right? What's the best thing about playing high school football on a Friday night?
I mean, it's just that feeling, you know. There's nothing like it. No other sport will give you that adrenaline and that feel of a Friday Night Light, and you just got to take it all in.
Just the brotherhood of everybody coming together for a Friday Night Lights, man. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, it's true. Coach, what do you like about Friday nights?
You don't get them back. Once you're done, like you got to live in the moment.
Yeah.
Because it's never the same. Because I went and played 2 years of baseball in college. It's just never the same as it is with the guys you grew up with.
That's true.
You just never get that feeling back.
All right, I got some rapid fire. You want to do some rapid fire? Yeah. Okay. For all three of you guys here, okay? Hey, the phone is such a big part of our lives, right? Favorite emoji to use? What is it?
That's a good one.
Palm head. Yeah. Palm head.
Probably the classic laughing face emoji.
I like that one.
I'm the same way. Classic laughing face.
Okay, we need to get one where you catch the football, right? That'd be a good one. If Coach Harmon and Coach Bielema were going to arm wrestle, who wins that?
Bielema.
Ooh, didn't even pause, Coach.
All right.
I'm not arguing with that. That's a big man.
You want to weigh in?
I don't even know. Probably Bielema, whatever.
Yeah. He's so much bigger in person than he does look on TV. I promise.
Okay. All right.
In a good way. In a good way, right?
Yeah,
Right.
way.
You're not talking about Coach Harmon, though. No. Coach, this is for you, okay? Best thing about coaching the senior group?
They have been a really fun group of guys with little drama. We were talking about in the coach's office last week. It's been fun. Win or lose, they enjoy showing up to practice. We have fun with them. They have good attitudes. Mm-hmm. They're unselfish. It's been a fun season.
That's fantastic. I like that answer. Who does the best impression of Coach Harmon on the team?
Tommy Edscorn.
Yes.
I didn't know about this.
Probably shouldn't have said that.
Yes, we'll see it tomorrow.
This will be interesting tomorrow.
Let's make a circle, gentlemen. We've got an entertainer in our midst.
Is that up downs or down and backs or?
I just want to see it. I don't care. I just want to see it.
All right, last one for you guys. Who's the best dancer on the team, and why is it Noah?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Can you get up and show us?
I think it's definitely DJ. Would y'all?
Yeah.
DJ, yeah.
Okay. All right. What's his go-to move?
Anything.
Really? You want to show us?
No, I'm good.
He's got a little something to him. He's pretty good.
He's
pretty good.
That man will drop it down.
I love it.
Well, Parker, look, if all things go the way you want them to, what does the next 4 to 5 years look like at the University of Illinois?
Just getting better every single day, because ultimately I do want to make the NFL. That's everybody's goal,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
But just progress every single day, I think I can make that goal, truthfully.
Now you're going to Ohio State and Illinois this Saturday, right?
Yes, sir.
Who are you rooting for?
Illinois.
All right. I still got that hope. I still got that wish.
Well, guys, we thank you so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. Best of luck, the rest of the year, and go Dogs.
Thanks for having us, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Great job, fellas.
All right, guys, let's take a look at the WOSN football schedule for the week. Game 1, it's not on Friday night. It's not on Saturday night. It's a Thursday night showdown. I do, too.
Does LCC ever play on a Friday
I
night,
know,
though?
right? Spencerville goes to LCC. Patrick Kamler and Dar Nevergall, the best-looking guy at WOSN, Dar Nevergall, the Burt Reynolds of WOSN.
See, I was going to go Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers, yeah, you got. Spencerville comes in 1-6, 0-4 in the Northwest Conference. LCC, obviously, the class of the NWC to this point, 7-0, 4-0. But don't forget, guys, although they play Spencerville Thursday night, they still have Grove and Crestview left on the schedule.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one for LCC to continue that momentum. I like their chances of doing that. If they're at full strength, I know they've had some injuries throughout the year. They got to get themselves healthy for that big slugfest at the end of the year. But it's a physical group, right? That's what you love. And physicality always travels. You don't forget to be physical on a Friday night. They always are. And a lot of it is because I know, Chris, you love this offensive line. And there's not just 5 of them. There's 6 guys that mix in. It's McKee, Malcolm, Baldoff, Williams, Garlock, and Knotts, and they are something else to watch as an offensive line. Not to mention the secondary level guys, the running backs, the guys, the H-backs that come up. That is a lot of beef that gets in front of Brady Parker when he runs the football.
Any chance LCC overlooks Spencerville?
I don't think so. Just to be plain and obvious here, they've done a great job of just staying on task 1 week at a time. And the best part about that offensive line, like you said, is the secondary blockers. So when you want to do a shotgun run to Brady Parker, he's got Carter Lester in front of him too, and he's got Caden Folke coming in, and there's just no way. Their game against Bluffton, they just kind of slow walk Bluffton to death. And you know, Coach Richards after the game said, you know, if we don't have the ball, we can't win. And they did a great job of keeping the ball away from us.
The thing about it, when they get in that formation and everybody knows that they're going to run behind those guys, you're in the stands, you know it. You're on defense, you know it. You're the defensive coordinators. And this week, John Zerby and Cole Roberts, they're going to know it. And they still get 5, 6, 7, 12 yards. That will rip your soul right out right there. And I think LCC knows that, and that's why they're so good at it.
Not to mention LCC's defense, best in the NWC, 12 points a game. It's hard to compete with.
I love talking to Coach Stolley about his offensive line because he says we want to take your will away.
Yeah, they do.
We want our guys to impose it. We're going to come right at you. We're not going to do anything fancy, and we challenge you to stop. I love that mentality.
I do. Now, for Spencerville, they're going to have that physical matchup that they got to compete with, but they also have to learn not to beat themselves. Penalties and turnovers been a problem for them all year long. They're going to have to do a good job of shoring that up if they're going to stay in this football game.
Game 2, guys, Friday night, Ottawa-Glandorf at Van Wert. Randy Roberts and our own Miles Holliday on the call for that one. Guys, OG comes in looking for their first win of the season, out of conference and in conference. Van Wert comes in at 3-4, 2-4. Van Wert's been in some close ones, Chris. maybe could have a better record than this.
Guys, I got to start this off by just congratulating Micah Cowan for being the best football player on the face of the planet. 18 catches for 330 yards and a touchdown. And 2 weeks ago, he picked off Caleb Moyer, too. It did happen. We did confirm that somebody who was in the stadium said it happened. But, you know, that Van Wert offense, you could kind of see flashes of it early in the season. Xavier Kelly was really coming along and running the ball well, but now they're really starting to mix in the pass. Crummy with 461 last week.
461 is ridiculous.
That's unbelievable. And, you know, they always seem to have those games against St. Mary's because a few years ago, the previous school record was held by Connor Campbell, who had 264 receiving yards against St. Mary's. And I happened to be in the building that night. And let me tell you, I could see 264, 330 just seems out of this planet.
Well, Welch had 3 touchdowns last week on 4 catches, and it's kind of like a footnote because of all the other crazy numbers that they put out there.
Miles, Ken Schreiner hasn't forgot how to coach. What's going on in Ottawa-Glandorf?
A young football team, right? Yeah, a very young football team. They will still get after it defensively. 2 weeks ago, played really well defensively against St. Mary's, a physical group, right? So you know there's improvement going on, but you look at that backfield, they're starting a freshman at quarterback and Vogt. He's going to be a good one. I like him. For them to stay in this game, though, guys like Deegan Miller are going to have to be fantastic. And defensively, you're going to have to deal with the screen game of Van Wert. I mean, look at those yards that they get after the catch on the screen. They took a 5-yard screen and turn it into 60 yards. You're going to have to do a good job. So guys like Will Coleman are going to have to run out there and do a good job stopping the screen game of Van Wert.
This is a Van Wert team that I think we all agree with. When we sit here next year, that record's going to be so different. That's going to be one of your top 2 teams in the WBL, in my opinion.
Look, Xavier Kelly is going to be as good as anybody in Northwest Ohio. He is a Big Ten type recruit.
He already is as a running back. I mean, just the fact that his versatility of, I think he played wide receiver most of his career previous to this, so he can do pretty much everything on the field.
One other guy I want to mention, Oscar Salisbury for OG, just a sophomore running back. I like him. He's a north and south runner. I think he's going to be a good one. Good things were coming for OG, maybe not this year, but next year.
And if you look at what Caleb Schmidt did against that Van Wert defense last week, you kind of got to take a little bit of that recipe and try to use it to your advantage, because if Van Wert's not going to stop the run, you got to continue to just keep running it straight at him.
You got to believe Van Wert's going to continue to score. OG gives up 32 points per game this year.
Game 3, Friday night, Coldwater at New Bremen. Mark Shine, Jerry Snodgrass on the call. Coldwater comes in 5-2, 4-1, so much alive in the MAC. New Bremen 4-3, 2-3 in the MAC. Guys, I think we all look at this game, and they're not going to overlook New Bremen, but we're all watching the 2 collide. And I'm talking about Marion Local and Coldwater. We're all waiting for that. They got business this
I just
week.
want to win the 50-50. I just want to win. Hey, I'm scratching my head because I'm trying to figure out what's going on with New Bremen, right? They got off to that great start where they were scoring 43 points a game, but in the last 3, they're only averaging 12 points a game. So what is going on over there with their offense? What's going on with that football team? Are they a fragile group right now because I have to go off that great start, but now they've struggled since? So I think they have a lot more questions than what Coldwater has right now.
You know, Miles, just if you look at those last 3 opponents, there was a Marion Local, there was a Fort Recovery in there too, so that might be the cause of all this. But, you know, let's just go back to Coldwater for a second. I think reports of their demise were greatly exaggerated because Chip Otten's figured it out and Carson Homan has arrived. I mean,
he has.
He ran for 100 and threw for 200 last week, and the week before that, they set a school record for total yards in a game. So, you know, that offense is humming. It's about 33 points a game, and you would expect them them to be able to keep that pace up, because this is the time of year where Coldwater shows its true colors.
Now, he has really improved, right? But you know what else has improved? Their ability to stop the run as the season gone on. They were giving up all kinds of running yardage early in the year. Not the case anymore. You knew they'd get things done on the defensive end. This is a Coldwater team that I would not want to play.
Yeah, I was there a couple weeks ago, guys, when Minster came in hotter than a firecracker, and Coldwater just absolutely destroyed them. I was so impressed with Carson Holman.
Hotter than a firecracker.
He's going up the board, Carson
Oh,
Holman.
he should have been on the
Grandpa.
list. and don't forget, they got one of the best kickers in the area. Bryce Couchot, the toe, is 29 of 29 in extra points this year and 2 for 2 in field goals. He doesn't miss.
Game 4 Friday night, Anna at Marion Local. Diamond Dave Bowen and Jack McGuire on the call. Anna 5-2, 3-2 in the MAC. Marion Local undefeated, 7-0 and 4-0 in the MAC. Guys, this Anna team destroyed Versailles last weekend.
Sure did.
Really gave Marion Local
35-7.
all they could. I'm telling you, this is the game of the night. I'm not calling upset, but I am going to say.
Wait, didn't you do this a couple weeks ago?
Is this just an instant replay?
Yeah, it's an instant
All
replay,
right.
yeah.
You have to beat them up on the trenches. That doesn't happen, right? Maybe it happened a couple weeks ago.
It did.
Maybe
It
it was
absolutely
close,
did.
right?
Yeah.
But they have struggled a little bit over time. Not always losing games to these guys, but quarterbacks that are able to run the football and throw the football, right? That has given them trouble in the past, even though they've still won those games. Anna has that guy, don't they, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. Logan Ziegenbusch is oddly similar to a guy in Charlie Worling who they did struggle against in St. Henry earlier this year. But, I look at their quarterback too. He's a kid that's really developing over the course of the year. He's protected the football a lot better these last handful of weeks than he did earlier in the season, even though a lot of those games weren't close. Those are still things that aren't common Marion Local mistakes, give the other team opportunities. But another thing I love when I look at their box score is that I think no less than 4 kids score a touchdown every time.
They always share the ball, yeah.
Yeah, you look at it, and it's Camden Eifert, Ben Meyer, Cale Nagel, and Braden Mesher, and fill in the blank.
So
they can just spread the ball around the field so much, and it's one of the many things that makes them so tough to defend.
Yeah, Eifert with 104 yards on 9 carries. How good can he be?
He's fantastic.
Is he?
Yeah, they go as that line goes. That's why Versailles gave them such fits the other night, is they bottled up that line. I've never seen that before, and they really struggled. They had to depend on a lot of downfield throws, and Versailles just put man on man, and it was great to see.
Let me ask you guys this question. Hess, I absolutely love him, right? But you always look at his stat line, it's always like 12 attempts.
Right.
If they let him throw it 30-plus times, how obscene will his numbers be?
Well, but I also think they're trying to bring him along. He's only a sophomore.
Right.
Yeah, I
Super
like
talented.
the gameplay. Yeah, he's super talented.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he ever will, because generally they don't play
It's
a
not their
full 4
game plan.
quarters.
Right,
and
right.
it's also, like you said, it's not their game. They hand the ball off to 4 or 5 kids. They pass it to whoever's open. It doesn't matter
Is
who
this
it is.
71 or 72 we're going for this week?
71,
Is it
I believe.
71 we're going for?
Yes.
Yeah, 71.
Yes, because
yeah.
70 was the catch-no-catch game.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, Saturday night at Stadium Park, Allen East takes on Delphus Jefferson. Myself and David Mansell will be on the call. Allen East comes in.
Who?
Young Gravy.
Young Gravy, there it is, yeah.
Allen East comes in 2-5, 1-3 in the NWC. Delphus Jefferson 1-6, still looking for their first conference win. Guys, no secret here what Allen East wants to do. They want to run the ball. They want to run the ball. And they want to
Miles,
run it.
do it, Miles, baby.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can never go wrong with Miles, right? I've said that for my whole life.
He
Like,
spells it correctly, though.
Yeah, right.
Miles is a fantastic
We
guy.
like him.
But let's not forget that Keegan Jones, the quarterback, and Ethan Hirschberger, hey, a little 3 wise men karma, right? They were on the show, had an unbelievable game last week throwing that deep ball. I love Keegan Jones. I think next year he's going to be one of the top quarterbacks in the area. And if you look at Delphus Jefferson, tough year for them, right? How do they stay in this football game? Well, if Dean Trentman is still out, it's a tough task. I know they like to run the football, but this is an Allen East team that seems to be trending in the right direction.
Guys, one of the things that jumped out to me the most when looking at the updated NWC leaderboards this week was that Keegan Jones and Brady Parker have the exact same amount of passing yards with 977.
Yeah.
So, obviously there's a little bit of a different system going into either side of those, but the kid's got all the talent in the world, and he's got all the weapons in the world. We talk about Cam Smith and Braxton Montgomery and, Ethan Hirschberger, long touchdown last week. They have the capability. It just seems like a team that hasn't fully put it all together yet.
You remember when we had them on the show, they talked about installing some new RPO stuff.
Yeah.
Well, they scored 56 points against Spencerville. I'm guessing
too bad.
Yeah, I'm guessing that RPO stuff is starting to work out.
Guys, we're 8 weeks into the season. What do we know for sure about this high school football season? I mean, there's a lot of things we see and we watch each week, but what do we know for sure?
Marion Local is vulnerable. And
Oh,
how is that even a hot take? How is that even a hot
right
take?
there.
Ratings, good stuff. This is
I
sweep
mean,
weeks,
Chris Howell, Lima
Chris
News,
Howell said they're
email
losing.
right there.
Yeah, the team that shut out probably 10 opponents and played 2 games without a running clock last year. Being human is breaking news. But no, look at those close wins over St. Henry and Versailles, and you kind of see the recipe.
Yeah.
But I got to say, you got to get them this year. You get them this year, and you're not going to get them in the next couple of years.
No, I don't
That's
know.
the problem.
Yeah. This could easily get to 100, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. It just blows me away that you're saying that out loud, because think about winning 100 games in a row in your high school career. It just seems
Incredible.
unfathomable. I don't know.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Just imagine winning one in your high school
silly
career, my
enough.
friend.
I tried not to bring it up. I tried not
I
to.
hate you guys. There's nothing about you I like. There's no redeeming quality.
I'm just amazed that a great athlete like you didn't win a high school football game.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
All in 40. It's unbelievable.
What's yours? Yeah.
All right. So
wait,
what,
Chris only gave us one.
I know. You want to do your second
Well,
one?
I have like 10. So it depends. What do you guys want?
Okay, well, listen to ours and see if
Okay,
you
go
mark
on.
them
Yeah,
off.
yes.
Because you and I always hit the
We
same
do.
ones. Yeah.
Well, why don't you go first there?
Okay, I can tell you this, that the Wapak is the class of the WBL.
Yeah.
I don't think we can...
Cross up number 2.
Wapak is the class of the WBL. What a program. From Friday nights
College
to...
level.
It is college level.
Yeah.
From their introduction to their press box to their athletic administration, everybody's doing the same thing, and they're doing it to the top level.
I just want to go Dennis Green on this and say they are who we thought they were.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because we knew they were going to be able to run and throw and play defense and have great offensive lines. The good news is that they're getting healthy, because when I talked to Travis Moyer after that St. Mary's game, he looked at me and said, Caleb was playing banged up these first 4 weeks, but he's good to go now. And they get Jarrett Mullen back last week too. That's a huge
he
piece.
looked
He's so
great
good.
against
I don't know how you cover him.
He looked great.
A day off in the middle of the season, it's not ideal, but maybe it'll do a team like that good that's trying to do a team.
Do we have a
tournament run.
time frame for Andre Longsworth when he comes back?
I
He's
don't.
such a vital part of that.
I don't
Love that
know.
kid.
That was it was kind of a close to the chest thing when I talked to Travis about it, but it wasn't a great sign that he came out without pads less than a quarter later, and I hope for his sake that he doesn't get to finish off his senior year on the sidelines, because
he's a tough kid,
such
man.
an important part of them. And when you lose Mullen, you're like, okay, we can plug Andre Longsworth in. Well, the good news was you discovered a kid like Gage Vaughn that night who ran the ball well too.
I was waiting for Longsworth and Mullen in the same package. I
know. We've been clamoring for you and I for 2 years now, but that's the thing. Walpock's so loaded is they have so many options. They just can't do them all.
They got dudes everywhere. They got dudes
Second thing
everywhere.
I know for sure after 8 weeks of high school football is the lethal weapon is the best running back in Northwest Ohio.
And has the
Braxton
best
Lee.
nickname.
Did you announce the name change?
Oh, we did change the nickname.
We
Yep,
did.
yep. Thank you,
Yes,
Chris.
yes.
We had Braxton on the show last week, and we talked to him, and we said, "Do you like the Leaf blower?" Which he did. He did like that.
did.
Did
But
he?
then he brought out.
Was it
the-
just like
Because it was presented first.
Yeah, it was presented first. But then he said, "I liked lethal weapon."
What kid wouldn't like Lethal Weapon?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Did you want
Guys,
to be a tool for the yard?
So every Friday night after my game, I'm checking stats and checking games, and it comes up last week like 389 or 390.
Yeah.
I'm like, another 400-yard game. It's statistically like impossible to get this stuff, and he's doing it every week.
What's his season total?
Oh, it's got
18, 28,
Yeah.
and 28 touchdowns.
What is the state record? Do you know?
That's a good question. I'm sure it's something absurd, though. You get a wing
Carlos
team.
Snow, right? It's got to be Carlos Snow
Gotta be
still.
something
Yeah,
like
right.
I'll tell you another kid who probably has a state record in something is Wyatt Taviano over at Perry, because he's now carried the ball 221
That's Earl
times.
Campbell over there.
And so this was actually a two-parter of mine that said Braxton Leith can run on anyone, and Wyatt Taviano can carry the ball on every single play, because that's how they've both been.
Would you be surprised if he got to 3,000 yards?
Surprise? No, he's still got a long way to go.
I was gonna
though.
say he's got a lot of-
a couple really good
1,200
defenses
yards,
coming up.
and he's got 3 games left.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you get to the playoffs, though. You had those throws.
They got to get there too.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
that's the issue, because
Where are they sitting at right now?
2 losses.
Okay.
2 losses, 1 loss in the MWC.
I think they get it.
You
But
get a win
they
over
still got to
Grove.
play that
Yeah.
LCC team. They still got to play Grove, and then they do have a game against, I believe, either Delphus Jefferson or Spencerville mixed in there.
What do you got, Miles?
All right, I know for sure, I know this for certain, If I'm Grant Sherman, I'm hiring an agent and I'm shopping because if I want to be a head football coach next year, I can be a head football coach because who does not want an innovative mind to take over their football program because you know you're going to score points. If you score points, you throw the football around, you turn that scoreboard into a slot machine. What kid is not going to want to come out and play football for that, right? So if he wants to be a head football coach next year somewhere, anywhere, he will have that opportunity. Second thing I know is if I'm looking at the playoff brackets and I'm trying to figure out who I'm going to play in round 1, round 2, whatever, and I see Van Wert come up, oh no, I do not want to play that Van Wert team because at the beginning of the year, yeah, they're a bunch of pups, right? And you're okay playing them because they're still going to make mistakes. By the time playoffs roll around and that offense is really clicking like we saw last week, putting up video game numbers, I don't know how you stop the triplets, right? I don't know how you stop all those guys. They're going to put up a lot of points. That means you're going to have to score a ton of points as well.
They're probably going to have to win out to get in, don't you think? 3 and 4 right now?
I would think so, yes.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Don't be
I don't
surprised.
count them out, absolutely.
That was actually, I'll give you a couple WBL ones. I had Van Wert is on his way, just not quite there yet because we've been talking about it. They're probably a year away from being a true WBL contender.
Next year going to be an absolute monster.
So, yeah, I wouldn't want to see him weeks 1 through 14 next year. Let's just put it that way.
You're going to see Zach Crummey's recruiting heat up over the next 2 years like we've never seen before.
People are going to have to make stops in Van Wert, Ohio again, and that's something that they hadn't done since his dad was being recruited.
Right.
Think about all the tailgates that you're going to do remotes over there
I'll fall off the
with
chair.
chairs that you're going to break.
And hopefully Chris is there to help me.
Yeah. Let's hope. I just have no response to that. But another one, the WBL. I just wanted to say, Shawnee's in good hands with Shane Wireman. I think this is finally the time we see Shawnee become a consistently, not even dominant, just a consistently relevant program that is always weeks 1 through 10 going to be a threat. And one of my other ones was just Colin Stolley was ready.
He was.
Yeah.
Yes.
You never know with a young guy and a guy who's never been a head coach before, but
he's done a great job.
I would say that LCC is staring down the barrel of the likelihood of a 10-0 season, not the possibility of a 10-0 season. Just because if you watch the way they play, they're built for this time of year. So if the weather ever gets bad, then
that's an LCC train coming down the tracks right there.
Colin Stolley's the director, right?
It's not a bandwagon either, folks.
Yeah, I saw Scott Palte last weekend. He's on staff over at Columbus Grove, and he was happy for those guys too. He's happy for Coach Stolley. So I thought that was a classy thing for him to say.
Good stuff. Good stuff. It's time for the Buckeye Corner, everybody. Who was the Buckeye offense and defense? We'll start with you, Mr. Holiday.
You got to go with Carnell Tate, don't you?
That's who I got.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Look, that play call, and it could be Brian Hartline should be the Buckeye also, because that play call on the reverse to Jeremiah Smith, and then Carnell Tate with the post and go. Oh, what a thing of beauty, right? That's one of those, as you're a play caller, you take a picture of it, you put it in a frame, and you hang it on your wall at the house and say, I can call offense, because that was a great play call. Carnell Tate, but the most impressive thing, not the deep ball, not the other things, that catch on the sideline where he got his feet down.
Can't defend it.
No, you can't. He is absolutely fantastic.
If Jeremiah Smith wasn't in Columbus, we'd be talking about Carnell Tate in Marvin Harrison terms.
Yeah,
we would.
Absolutely.
We absolutely would.
It's the Emeka Ibuka syndrome, right?
Exactly.
He's going to be a first-round talent. He just has to be the second best wide receiver on his college team.
And you know what? He's okay with that. I think he understands. If I do well, we win the national championship, I'm going to make a lot of money.
That seems to be the prevailing attitude of that football team, right? You have 3 running backs that you rotate in. Nobody pouts about it. You have offensive linemen that you rotate in. All the guys that play on defense. It's absolutely amazing the team-first mentality that they have right now.
How about the defensive side?
Defensive side, how do you not go with Arval Reese every single week?
He's so good, Miles.
I didn't go with him this week simply because I wanted to go with somebody else. But I can make the argument every time.
He felt obligated to go somewhere else.
His combination of speed and strength 2 weeks ago when he bench pressed that offensive tackle at Washington, absolutely stuff. The sad thing is he's going to be a top 10 draft pick after this year, so we're only going to get this one really great year out of him.
Well, we're going to get Riley Pettijohn next year,
too.
Pettijohn's
a freak.
How much of a difference does James make in that tight end room?
James Laurinaitis in the linebacker room?
Yeah.
Oh, his recruiting is through the roof. Future head football coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes, James Laurinaitis.
Ooh, hot take?
Simply for the fact that I knew you guys were going to say Arvel Reese, I went with Davis Enigbenosin because he's kind of shaking this reputation of the guy who just always gets flagged. Now he got
Well, he
away
had
with
the
one.
most last year.
He did.
I know.
He did.
I know.
PJ lost his mind.
But through these handful of weeks so far, he's really done a lot to shake that reputation.
has.
He did get away with one in that game. He did, but maybe somewhere he sold his soul for some goodwill. So I just want to say he's an important part on the opposite side of that defense, and we're going to need him if we're going to go deep.
Did you know Jim Tressel's nickname was the Governor? Did you know that?
Did you?
The senator.
I know. How about Todd Blackledge, though,
yeah.
in a broadcast?
Yeah.
He said, they called him the governor here.
Well,
come on, Todd. What are you
Penn State
doing?
gave him a degree.
He did.
We just called him Jim when I was at the
Yeah.
University of Akron because he was just a guy sitting on a bench eating a sandwich when he was the
like
administrator
that?
over there.
Guys, I had Carnell Tate, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't think you got. How does Northwestern or the University of Illinois, how do they let him get out of Chicago? Notre Dame covers Chicago like crazy. How do they let You know how they let him? Because Brian Hartline's the best recruiter in college
It's
football.
true.
Bar none.
Yeah, I don't know if they let him. It's just, he was
Right.
going to leave there. I mean, why would you go to Northwestern?
Oh, you know what I'm
if you go to
saying,
Ohio
though.
State?
Yeah. It's just Brian Hartline's ability to find kids, to grade them, and to get them on campus, and boom.
Wait till you see Chris Henry Jr.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Guys, on the defensive side, it's just kind of off the beaten path. I put Matt Patricia. It's just unbelievable what he's scheming up, guys.
Where's your pencil at?
Incredible.
Where's your pencil?
Look, the guy lost like 80 pounds in the offseason.
He used to look like a defensive tackle.
Right.
Now he's a stout
and
linebacker.
now we haven't seen anything like this in years. We
Yeah.
really haven't.
Enjoy
Jim
it.
Knowles did a great job with the national championship team, don't get me wrong. But even the guys, Miles talked about it earlier, that the guys are talking about how easy the schemes are and how effortless he lets them flow. And he's got multiple guys. And you're seeing 20 guys playing on that defensive side of the ball on every snap.
Yeah, a couple things, right? There's never an open gap on run game. All gaps are filled. Their pursuit is fantastic. And then think how many times Minnesota tried to use their aggressiveness against them with throwback screens or running quarterback on a bootleg and throwing back cross action, and it was covered. Very, very disciplined group.
Can we do an honorable mention for special teams this week, though? Because that reverse to Lorenzo Styles from Brandon
loved it.
Davis
Loved it.
The
was
throwback,
spectacular.
Yeah, that was great.
Were you surprised how accurate that pass was? It just hit him right where he needed to be hit.
I was
too.
just surprised that we did something creative special
Yeah,
team wise.
know,
I was
right?
tickled
No,
about it.
I was
Yeah.
surprised it made it back behind the
Yeah.
line. Most of the time, kids throw it forward. So we cover Matt Patricia. Let's ask this. How about offensive coordinator Brian Hartline? What would you do different going into the second half of the season?
I think we need to just build some confidence in James Peoples because I know
Great second half.
That's
at
a
this
great
point he's
Chris.
he's third on the depth chart probably. I think we can all see that. But we're going to need him in the stretch run because inevitably these guys are going to get banged up and miss a game, you miss a quarter, whatever have you. You just need to be able to have that versatility. And the second thing I went with is just continue to open that playbook for Julian, saying, as you trust him more, let him do more things, and more cool stuff can happen.
Do you remember Ohio State quarterback that gets his feet in better position than Julian Sain, or that you enjoy watching him throw the football? I mean,
It's fun.
you love watching him, right? He throws such a pretty pass. It's always on target. He's fantastic. That's why I think they should go more tempo. Right? We are so more talented than anybody else that we're playing, right? Why limit possessions? When you limit possessions, you allow that other team to stay close for as longer than you should. If you go tempo, you score, you put the pressure on them. I'd love to see them go warp speed as fast as they can.
Well, I think Hartline's got to do something about Julian saying, like, a couple weeks ago, he was 22 of 25. You can't be missing three ball. You know what I'm saying?
What are you doing,
this
kid?
Is, and last week, what was he, 28 of 31? It's ridiculous.
Well, Brady Emmons was 22 of 24. We got
I
on
know.
about
It's
that.
just, I don't know, man. I mean, if you're going to play at Ohio State, you got to do better. Right?
Perfect.
At least he had a perfect game against Grambling. The one pass just went to the
Do
other
you
team.
remember before the season started, we all talked about Julian saying, we're like, well, could be a rough year. He's going to make mistakes. We're going to have to live with the mistakes.
Not me.
I haven't seen him. yet. The kid is unflappable.
I saw him star in High School Musical, and I knew from then he was going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, he was. Are you guys concerned that Jaden Fielding missed a field goal? Look, I'm going to say this. I love Ryan Day, and his tenure at Ohio State has been fantastic. He recruits, he coaches, he fires coaches when they don't do the job. He does everything he
does.
does.
Yeah.
But
I
I'm
know
here
where
to
you're
tell
going
you,
with this.
his biggest bugaboo is special teams, and it ain't even close.
No.
Yeah.
It's. I don't want to say it's been bad. It just hasn't been up to par with the other things.
Did you have any confidence he was going to make that field goal?
No,
Absolutely
none.
not. But here's what I'll say is if you want him to be able to kick that field goal come the Peach Bowl against Georgia,
Yes.
then you got to give him some opportunities in the regular season, because we trotted Noah Ruggles out there with the season on the line.
All of us knew he was going to miss
and nobody
that.
thought he was going to make that kick. And guess what? He didn't, because we had never asked him to do anything over a 30-yarder the whole season.
All right, now I'll go back and I'll defend Ruggles. Second and third down, we threw. We didn't run the football to make it closer for him that night, and that was his
I don't know that he
career
was going
long.
to hit it from anywhere. He shanked that so bad. It was so bad.
Yeah.
Are you concerned about fielding?
I am. You know why? Because the Michigan game a year ago, right? And everybody talks about, well, he made that field goal against Notre Dame to clinch the national title game. It was a 31-yard field goal, folks.
Exactly.
Right. There's no drama there. And I wasn't convinced Notre Dame was going to go down.
That's why you got to give him opportunities to kick these long field goals. Otherwise, he's never going to make it.
I'm for that, but not when the score was 3-3. Punt the football. You have the best defense in the nation. Pin Minnesota deep again. Yeah.
1-5 against Illinois this week. How concerned are you, Chris?
1.5.
1.5.
The only thing that gives me pause is that this game is almost 15 years to the day of when Brett Bielema knocked off a number 1 Ohio State team in Wisconsin. So that's the only thing.
Was that the Robert Reynolds choke game?
I believe so. Yes.
That
game was in Madison in 2010. So I guess you could say Brett has been there, done that at least once before, but they're not going to lose to Illinois. I just can't see it happening.
This Illinois offense, though, has scored a lot of points since that debacle against Indiana. It's a little bit concerning, right? I don't know if they have the receivers that are going to make us be worried on the outside.
They'll throw the ball a lot.
They will, and that might be a problem for them, because this offensive line that we came into the year talking about, we were going to be excited about because they had 5 starters come back. They have not played well this year. I like Ohio State's chances on that. I look for Ohio State to maybe go tempo early. And get out in front that way. If that doesn't work, you send a truckload of Pop-Tarts early in the week, kind of distract Burt Bielema, let him eat all those Pop-Tarts like he did at the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Are you concerned at all that our guest tonight, Parker Crim, is going to be on the sideline wearing orange and blue?
They're going to wish he was suited up for this game.
I know,
because they're
right?
going to need him on defense.
Well,
for this
here's
one.
what's going to happen, all right? Parker's going to be there, all right? He's going to watch Ohio State absolutely destroy Illinois, and then he's going to look over at that scarlet
He's going to wave to Ryan.
and he's going to go,
hey.
Columbus,
I'll tell
that's
you
where
one
I need
better.
to be.
He's going to do the Superman, and there's going to be an Ohio State
I
shirt
love
under
it.
it.
I love it.
All right, guys, let's talk high school football again. Our Stolly Sensational Player of the Week and our Power 5 teams. Can I go first?
Yeah, you go first,
I gotta
brother.
go
I like how
first.
you said it like a little kid. Yeah, please. Chris, did you bring him candy? Does he have candy?
He keeps them in his pocket, M&M's.
I did bring
like a
3.
penguin.
Are you gonna be that old guy that has a hard candy in his pocket all the time? You want one?
No wrappers.
Yeah, the Werther's Originals.
like
or those
butterscotch,
butterscotch
kid?
candies.
Yeah.
Yes, I want that candy that's been in your pocket all day that has hair on it.
What's the fuzz all over?
It's
That's
just
from
naturally warm, too.
That's from my cat there, buddy. That's old Skippy the cat. My Stolly Player of the Week is Braxton Lee. Fantastic.
It's just an obligated weekly mention at
I
this
know,
point.
right? I know.
That's why I
he's going to be a
brought 3.
guest
Yes.
on this show. Him and Will Sheets, October 20th. You don't want to miss
Well,
that
we're
episode.
filming at the 20th. He'll be on the 21st.
Yep, he's going to be on the show,
Okay,
so I'm
I'll
super
see you
excited
guys
about
there.
it. Braxton will be here. He was fantastic. My Power 5 teams are this. Are you ready? I know you're going to be shocked. Marion Local, Wapakoneta, LCC, Liberty Benton, and the St. Henry Redskins. Still only one loss.
All right, we can skip me.
Is that what
St.
you
Henry at number 5. Everything else the same.
Still only. Hey, how do you go against the Redskins? They
Nah.
took Marion Local to the
Charlie
wire.
Rowling.
Well,
Yeah.
how do you go against the top 4? I think the only thing we're really deciding here is
that
who the
fifth?
5th team is.
Yeah.
And there are some teams in the mix. You could still argue that Bluffton deserves a mention here and there, but the St. Henry loss was the prettiest loss of all time. If there is such a
pretty
thing,
loss.
and it's not over between those two teams. This is going to happen again, right?
We all want that. We all want that
We said
so
this
bad.
last year with
Careful
Minster,
what you
and we
ask
got
for.
it.
Be careful what you wish for sometimes, right?
If you're from which community?
Yeah.
Well, but no, I don't. No, we don't have a dog in the fight, but I think
No.
we want to see that rematch, right?
My dog
we
is
would.
to see good football.
We're team content, right? And we'd love to see
Who's
that.
your player of the week?
I had 2. I put Maya Kakawan out there because you just
fantastic.
can't ignore that stat line.
18
for
catches.
18 receptions, 330 yards, and a touchdown. And then a little honorable mention goes to Jordan Wright from Defiance. He had 3 interceptions in that
that's
win for
right.
Defiance, which was an OT walk-off. That tied their program record. So hats off to those 2 kids.
3 wins for them, all on the last play of the game?
3 wins all by 1 point.
By 1 point, that's what
yeah,
it is. Yeah,
I probably on the last play of the game as well too, but 2 overtime wins.
that's absolutely crazy.
Yes.
Who's your Stolly, Miles?
Landon Best.
He's
I
good.
brought him up, the quarterback for Columbus Grove. It was fantastic throwing the deep ball. Did a nice job running that offense for them. You can tell he's a senior. He's a smooth guy, a smooth operator with that offense. However, that's not why I picked him. Because it's a big 4th down, and he came up from the secondary, laid that boomstick, man. He was a physical dude, and then he kind of looked over at Fort Laramie and let him know about it. Yeah, that was me. I'm the quarterback. Came over and I hit you pretty hard. That changed the whole game around. He's a heck of a football player over there.
During my own 40 stint, I did that a lot.
0-4.
Yeah.
Who's your Power 5 team?
Okay, now this might surprise you. Okay, Marion Local, Wapak. Liberty Benton, okay, LCC, and then I still really like that team from Bath because they can score a lot of points.
Nice.
It'd be fun to watch them play St. Henry.
I was just going to say, what do you think, Bath St. Henry?
I mean, we'll do it. I'll be there if you guys will be there.
All right, let's call them up. Maybe do it
That's
Thursday.
awesome. Guys, great show tonight. Thank you so much.
It was a
Awesome
fantastic
stuff.
show. Now,
Yeah.
next week we have a volleyball special.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and is it the Hutchins?
The Hutchins,
Yeah.
the 3 Hutchins ladies are going to be here.
I will not be here. I'll be on assignment.
And Malia Romas from Kaleido will be here.
Awesome stuff. Chris, thanks a lot, buddy.
Appreciate you guys.
Until next week, Lima Land, you've been watching The 3 Wise Men. Thanks a lot.